Hello, coin collectors out there. Welcome back to the Big D Coins channel. Hopefully, everyone is having a great day as always. In today's video, we are going to look at these painted state quarters. So, this will be episode number 6. We've already covered 99, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, and we are on to the year 2004, which is going to capture Michigan, Florida, Texas, Iowa, and Wisconsin. Some very cool colorization of these state quarters. And what we're doing in the series is just kind of taking it easy and looking at all of these different designs. I'll give you a 30 to a minute long description of what we're looking at on the reverse right here and some history behind it. We'll also bring in the regular issue state quarters when we talk about each of the colorized state quarters, so you can see what the original design looked like and what the colorized version looks like. These quarters are not going to be valuable. In fact, kind of detracts from the value by painting them, because these paintings that you see on the reverse, or the colorizations or the printings, whatever you want to call them, are not mint issued colorized quarters. These were done by a private company, so you can't get these quarters graded. You cannot sell them for a profit. So don't try and buy these and try and think that the price will go up on them. Just know what you're getting. If you do decide to purchase these quarters, you're not going to, be able to sell them for a profit. They'll just be something you can hang on to and talk about and look at and kind of have as a cool, fun piece as part of your collection. All right, so I moved aside all of the other ones. The first quarter in the year 2004 is going to be Michigan, which I actually went to last summer. It was a very cool state. We started around Detroit, and then drove to the Upper Peninsula, to the Pictured Rocks area, and then kind of back down to Traverse City, Petoskey area down here, and then back down to Detroit. So it's a very cool state, and what we're looking at right here on the reverse side of the quarters, we see the 5 Great Lakes. Oh boy, so we've got Lake Superior right here. I definitely know about that one. Lake Michigan. We've got Lake Erie, I believe is this one. Lake Huron and Lake Ontario. I'm not sure between these two right here which one is rich. I think that's the order, but feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. These three, Huron, Erie, and Ontario, are compassed right here. 4 of the 5 lakes border Lake Michigan, and much of the state history is tied to the famous bodies of water. So Lake Superior, when we were up here last summer, was very, very cold. Lake Michigan's a little bit warmer, but these lakes are freezing, well, not freezing cold, but very cold even in the summertime. So kind of cool to experience and see if you haven't been there before. Definitely worth checking out if you've got family or friends in the area, or got someone to visit while you're there. Makes it even more enjoyable. All right, so that's what we have for Michigan. Nice colorization there. Moving on to Florida, which has some kind of lighter tropical colors to it. And again, we will talk about the mintages of each of these quarters. We will save it to the end of the video so we can run through all of them quickly. I'll also give you the prices of these coins at the AU 50 grade, the Mint State 63 grade, and the Mint State 65 grade as well. All right, on to Florida for the year 2004. Now, Florida became a state in the year 1845. So we had Michigan in 1837, Florida in 1845. Then we'll go on to Iowa in 1846, Wisconsin in 48. Texas in 45 will be after Florida. Then we will go to Iowa and Wisconsin. What we see here on the reverse design, we see the 16th century Spanish galleon represents the state's beginning as a starting point of discovery. So they were discovered right in Florida, was one of the first areas in the country which was discovered. They didn't make any permanent settlements there, I believe. Florida is also home to the Kennedy Space Center, which is this era most important space expedition were launched. So in this kind of most recent era, that's where most of our space expeditions have been launched from. The reverse design also features the sabal palm trees. So we've got some palm trees right here. We see Gateway to Discovery. That's kind of a motto to capture the Spanish galleon ship right here, which discovered Florida very early on in the settlement of the United States of America. So that's what we're looking at right here. Very fitting that we have some tropical colors to this state, as it's a nice kind of fun tropical location and state. On to Texas, a little bit more serious of a design right here, which is fitting for Texas. What we're looking at on the reverse side right here, we see the Lone Star comes from the original flag of the Republic of Texas, and later the state flag. A labyrinth encircles the state as a symbol of cattle and cowboy history of Texas. So this this rope going around the outside right here is called a lariat, a Lariat. So feel free to correct me if you are from Texas. Interestingly, this company did not highlight the Lone Star State right here. They just colored over it. I'm not sure why they would do that. It looks like with all the other states that have logos, like Hawaii right here, like New Mexico right here, they've got all of the sayings kind of highlighted, but we skipped over that for Texas. So Texas is the Lone Star State, but it's not colorized as part of this state quarter issue right there. So maybe that was an error. Maybe it just wasn't them paying close enough attention to the actual state quarters design. Another example I just saw was Nebraska. So we've got Chimney Rock right there, kind of the equivalent of the Lone Star State, but that's not outlined as part of this quarter. So a little bit of a defect there, but that's all right. We're on to the next state, which is Iowa. So here is the colorized quarter, and here's your regular quarter. We see this one. It's they got the logo highlighted right there. Foundation in Education for Iowa, which became a state in 1846. The design on the reverse is based on the painting by Grant Wood entitled Arbor Day. Beside the one-room schoolhouse. So right here, we see a teacher and the students are planting a tree. The reverse displays the state's commitment to education and agriculture. So very cool right there. Definitely some things to kind of highlight. We've got the single room schoolhouse, so a entire school that was just in one room. So very cool imagery right there. And then we've got the teacher and the students outside planting a tree, and that kind of symbolizes the state's commitment to both education, because we've got the teacher, and agriculture, because we have the tree. We also see Grant Wood down here. Oh, so Grant Wood is the person who originally made this painting, so that's why their name is being called out down here at the bottom. The fifth quarter in the year 2004 is Wisconsin. Let me bring in the Wisconsin regular quarter issue right here. Now, there are some errors associated with this one. This is actually the first quarter in the Cherry Picker's Guide, the first state quarter in the Cherry Picker's Guide, which they call out an error associated with it. There's a design manipulation associated with this part right here. There's an extra leaf, high reverse design. So if you've got yours, you might want to check that out, but we'll skip getting into too much detail with that quarter, but just be aware that there's a error out there. It would be nullified by painting it on the reverse design though, so you wouldn't see it there. All right, what we're looking at for the reverse design for this Wisconsin quarter, we see that Wisconsin produced over 15% of the nation's milk and over 250 varieties of cheese. So that's why we've got the cow right here. Wisconsin is one of the main corn producers of the United States. So we've got cow, corn, and cheese. The banner forward is the state's motto due to its drive to become a national leader. Very cool right there. So Wisconsin's working to become a national leader. So that's why we see forward captured right here. We've got the cow, we've got the cheese, and then we've got the corn up top right here. Wisconsin became a state in 1848. So we had Iowa in 1846, Texas in 1845, Florida in 1845, and Michigan way back in 1837. Now I'm going to remove all of the regular quarters and bring back in the colorized quarters, and we'll run through the mintages of each of these as well as the values at the various grades of grading for these. All right, so let's start with the mintages. I'll give you just the production amount for the Philadelphia Mint. That will give you kind of a good idea of how many were being produced without taking too much time. For Michigan, we have 233 million. For Florida, we have 240 million. For Texas, 278 million. For Iowa, 213 million. And for Wisconsin, 226 million. Now keep in mind there is the extra leaf error out there with the Wisconsin quarter. For the grades, for the value of these quarters, they all will be worth 35 cents in the AU 50 grade. They will all be worth 75 cents in the Mint State 63, and they'll all be worth $1 in the Mint State 65. There were two different proof sets made, as I mentioned, on other state quarter videos for the state quarter series. There's the regular copper nickel clad, which 2.7 million of those were produced, and there was the proof silver versions in which 1.7 million were produced. So those will have a value of $3 for a PF65 for the regular proof, and then $8 for that silver proof set. All right, everyone, that's all the info that I've got for you today. Hopefully you enjoyed taking a peek at these cool colorized state quarters. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Enjoy, and best of luck coin collecting out there. Take care.